Hey guys, it's been a while. It's been a couple months. I've been so busy that I've literally only just now been able to sit down and have the time to film this video, even though I've had it planned out for about 2.5 months, something like that. So yay! For those of you who have not seen any of my videos or are just stumbling onto my channel, hello. My name is Aliyah. I am an American. My dad's Egyptian, but he's been living in the States for, 30 years, something like that. So I have Egyptian heritage, but I'm very much your standard typical American girl, and I moved here when I was 24, and I've been living here now for 8 years. And what I like to do on my channel is put out videos of information that is helpful to those who are just moving to Egypt or about to, things about daily life. And I think that I have a pretty balanced view of how things go here, and I just kind of generally want to be helpful. Just keep in mind that these are my own opinions, my own perspectives, my own view, my own experiences. Don't come for me. So anyway, let's get into it. Well, I am back with another topic, and this topic is very specific. My last two videos have been very general. I've been listing out things, and they could be from any part of living here. But today's topic is very, very specific. I'm going to talk about healthcare in Egypt, okay? Especially, and this is so relevant now with everything going on with COVID. I just felt like this would be a good time to talk about healthcare. And I have this video divided up into 6 parts. First, I'm going to talk about pediatricians. Then I'm going to talk about hospitals, and these are hospitals that I've had experiences with. I'm going to talk about OBGYNs. I'm going to get into talking about dentists as well as specialists as well. Specialist doctors that you wouldn't normally go to quite a bit. I'm going to talk about health insurance costs as well as common medicines, and I'm actually going to show you some of the common medicines that you'll regularly purchase in the pharmacies, and I'm going to show you them as well as mention a few other that I unfortunately don't have in the house with me. So, and I will put the names to those inside the video and talk to you about that. Excuse me while I drink my tea. I made this right before Salat al-Isha, and then I prayed, and then I started getting set up to do this, and I didn't drink it, and I don't want it to go to waste. So we'll be sipping on it a bit. Anyway, so I've listed out the things already that I'm going to talk about, and I'm not going to go into too many details with you about everything. I'm going to kind of keep it brief. As always, anyone that has any specific questions about things can contact me. Also, before I get started, let's just remember to go and subscribe and like the video. Also, check out my Instagram for pictures of my daily life in Egypt. There's a lot of interesting things going on there as well. So let's just get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about with you is something that is a big part of my life, as I have 2 children, and that's going to be pediatricians. Okay, so a lot of parents are worried, and a lot of moms before they move here are worried that they're not going to be able to find good health care for their children, and this is just not true. You have no short supply of really great pediatricians in Cairo. Now also keep in mind that most of my information is going to be about Cairo, not Alexandria or Aswan or Hurghada. It's mostly Cairo, so just keep that in mind. One of the best things that I love about Egyptian doctors is how they put such an importance on building up the immunity of your child. Antibiotics is something that's used as an absolute last resort, and because of that, my children, alhamdulillah, thank God, my children don't get sick that often. And with that, it takes a lot of stress off of me. Now, also, your doctor will provide you with a card that has all of the vaccinations, and they will let you know, okay, what are the upcoming vaccinations, and write down the date and everything. I mean, my doctor is very precise with everything, and he's very organized, and though he may not have like the best bedside manner, he's a good doctor, and my kids are generally very, very healthy. Now, if that is something that is really important to you, that bedside manner, there are doctors who are excellent doctors who do have a good bedside manner. And in the beginning, me coming from the United States, where most pediatricians are happy-go-lucky, tra-la-la-la, at the beginning, it was kind of putting me off a bit. But after my daughter was about 2, and then especially after my son was born, that became less of a priority for me, and just the quality of the healthcare that he was giving was what ended up being the most important to me. So you can find one with both, but for me it's just about the quality of the healthcare that we're being provided with, not necessarily how nice and cute and sweet the doctor is with kids. So you have no short supply of good pediatricians all over Cairo. Okay, now I want to talk about hospitals. So I have been in quite a few, both as a patient and as visitors, visiting friends and family who've been there. I'm going to list out the hospitals and talk to you a little bit about them. I also have some video footage of a hospital that I was recently in with my son, who just had his tonsils and adenoids removed, so I'm going to be inserting those into the video as well. So first, we want to mention that there are different levels of hospitals with different quality of doctors, different levels of cleanliness, and I've been in quite a few that I would say are just as equally clean and have the same level of technology as what you would find in hospitals in the United States. So the first hospital that I want to mention that I think that is a really good go-to and has a good emergency room is going to be Cleopatra Hospital, which is located in Heliopolis. It's very, very clean. My daughter had her tonsils and adenoids removed there, and it was excellent. The doctors are great. I had to go in one time. I had food poisoning, and I had to go into the emergency room, and they were great. I've had several relatives who've had to be admitted there, and it is an excellent hospital and one of the best in the city. Another hospital that I've been in is the Queen's Hospital, that's also located in Heliopolis. Now, it is a maternity hospital. It's an excellent hospital, very, very good. The staff is excellent, and I was there. I had to be admitted for a few days with food poisoning while I was pregnant, and they were excellent, and they had really, really great care. Another hospital would be the Air Force Hospital. Now, this is the fifth settlement in New Cairo, and one thing I love about this hospital is how it has a really good emergency room. I had to take my son in for a head injury last January, and they also have a lot of specialty doctors like ENTs and optometrists who are inside of this hospital as well, and we even were able to go in without an appointment and see some of these specialist doctors. So it's a really good hospital, and it, as most hospitals that are run by them, that are military hospitals are. Another hospital, and the last hospital that I'm going to mention, is the most recent hospital that I was in, and it's called Nil Badrawi, and this is in Maadi on the Corniche, or the Nile. My son had to also, just like my daughter, had to have his tonsils and adenoids removed. It's only been recently purchased by the Cleopatra Healthcare Group, and you can see that there clearly are renovations going on while we were there, and this was in June. I was really impressed. They were on point with everything. With the coronavirus going on right now, they had a procedure before admitting anyone. You had to have your temperature taken, you had to have a chest scan, and you also had to have blood work done. And this is just to kind of test and see what the likelihood of you having coronavirus is. And then once that was given the all clear, my son was admitted, and everything was very, very good. I was really happy with the hotel room. You see, when in my mind, hotel room. I was happy with the hospital room. As you can see from this picture, everything is very clean. No, it's not fancy, but in the end, for me, it's about the quality of the healthcare that you're getting, not how nice and neat and fancy everything looks. It was an excellent hospital, and I was really, really happy with the staff and the doctors. I was really, really happy. So there are a lot of hospitals all over Cairo. Those are just the ones that I happen to have been in. Definitely do your research and look into things, but you can find excellent hospitals in Cairo. Now I want to talk about something that is focused with the ladies, and that's going to be your OBGYNs. Now, I've had 2 children. Now, I delivered both of my children in the United States, but I spent 8 out of the 9 months of those pregnancies here in Egypt. I've seen a total of 3 OBGYNs since living here, and I'm going to talk about my experiences with them. So my first OBGYN was okay. It wasn't the best. My husband and I had only just got married, and as I don't know anything about Cairo, I had to kind of rely on him to find the doctors, and not that he didn't, not that he'd choose something bad, but we were just inexperienced at the time. And so the doctor, he was okay, but I definitely think that he was a little too loosey-goosey with his examinations of me, kind of thinking making me feel like I was being a little bit too paranoid about things, and I had asked him about some things, particularly with my swelling and during my pregnancy, and he kind of just pushed it aside. And then at the end of my pregnancy, I ended up being preeclamptic, and this was with me telling him throughout the whole pregnancy, I feel this is just too much swelling, even from the 3rd month, and this is abnormal. My other 2 doctors, though, are amazing. My second doctor unfortunately passed away last year. He was amazing. He helped me to choose a really great birth control that worked for me. And then when he passed away, when he initially became ill, my current OBGYN took over his practice for him, and then I eventually just moved over to him being my OBGYN, and he took care of me. Actually, back up. He helped me to conceive my son. I had a very specific time that I wanted to conceive and deliver. I wanted to be able to get pregnant at this month so that I would deliver in this month, and he helped me get exactly the time that I wanted. So I was really happy with him, and he kept me healthy, very, very healthy through my second pregnancy, and as well as being amazingly friendly and talking to me about things. And he doesn't talk down to me. He talks to me, teaches me about things, not just saying, yeah, you're okay. No, he talks to me about things, and I like that. So, and then when the time came, he helped me. He also helped me with my birth control, selecting my birth control and everything. And for those of you who are not aware, the loop or the IUD is available here, and it is quite cheap. So no worries. So if you're wanting to have good birth control, you have obviously pill form, shot form, and the IUD is available here, and it's much, much, much cheaper than the United States. So now we want to talk about specialists. Now I know dentists are not specialists, but I'm kind of like lumping them in with specialists. And this is going to be brief. I just wanted to kind of tell you that if you're coming from the United States, you're coming from Canada, UK, there are specialist doctors here. All the types of specialists that you would be able to find there, you can find here. Optometrists, ENTs, cosmetic surgeons, dermatologists, speech pathologists, all of these things, they are available here. Now, as far as dentists as well, you have a lot of options. My dentist is located in Heliopolis as well, and he's excellent. I actually was talking with my husband the other day that I've not been to the dentist in a bit, and I would really love to go in for cleaning. So yes, you can have your teeth cleaned and any number of things done with your teeth done here, so no worries about that. All right, so let's move on and let's talk about health insurance as well as the cost of healthcare in general in Egypt. So first thing you want to know is that your employer may be providing you with health insurance. My employer does. I have AXA Health Insurance, which is an insurance company that's global. And it's okay. I mean, I think there are better plans out there, but it's definitely not bad. Not all doctors will take health insurance cards. Sometimes you do have to pay cash. It's just the way it is. But definitely if you're doing things in the hospitals and that sort of thing. Now, what I want to talk about with regards to cost is that you will be shocked at how cheap healthcare can be here. And I'm talking about like your trips to pediatricians. So, regardless of whether they've been specialty doctors or like my child's pediatrician or whatnot, generally a visit to the doctor costs between 300 and 600 pounds. So that's like $20 to $40 for a visit, right? A lot less than the United States, absolutely. My son's recent tonsil and adenoid removal surgery cost 17,000 Egyptian pounds, and that's, when I say that's everything, that is the doctor's fee, hospital stay, and anesthesiologist. So that's $1,130. So yes, that is absolutely cheap. And that was an out-of-pocket payment. I didn't, my son, I haven't yet purchased insurance for my children, because generally the healthcare is very, very cheap. So we don't honestly need to go to the doctor that often here, thanks to immunity. So, in general, I think when they're a little bit older, we may purchase healthcare for them, but as of now, right now, it's not a huge cost that in which we need to have it. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is medications. Now, I pulled a bunch of medications out of my cupboard, and I'm going to actually be showing them to you. And I'm just this is in no particular order, I'm just kind of like picking them up as I go. So let's just start with something basic. Now, please note that most medications do not require a prescription from the doctor, even antibiotics. So, have a sigh of relief about that. So the first antibiotic that I want to talk about is Zithromax. This is an antibiotic. You use this for like respiratory infections and that sort of thing. And it usually comes in, it's a packet of 5. It's just one single packet of 5 pills. And this one can run a little bit pricey, and especially with coronavirus going on right now, things like this, and the cost of medicine has gone up a little bit. So I'm not going to put a price point in the video because it may change the next day after I put this up. But Zithromax can be a little bit pricey, so be forewarned. All right, the next one I want to talk about is another antibiotic called Augmentin as well. This is also an antibiotic, and this is for viral infections. Either viral infections or bacterial infections. I have to look inside, but it is a very commonly prescribed antibiotic. The next one I want to talk about, this is really important. Okay, so this is Antinal. If you get gastroenteritis or food poisoning, this is going to be your savior. So definitely pick up some of this when you get here. So Colobin, this is a really good cough medicine for kids, especially if they're having like a hoarse throat. This is really good. There's also another one called Topexil, but it's quite strong. You have to be careful with that. Most of the time, my doctors recommend this one, and it's just a few drops. I'm talking like 3 or 4 drops in the throat, and it's a miracle worker. Here you have Prisoline. This is like Visine. It's for your eyes. Then you have here Ultravine. These are nasal drop solutions if you're feeling a bit congested. This is something called Zyrtec. Here's the English version. This is Zyrtec. This is for runny noses. And it is definitely, this is a drowsy medicine. So if you don't want your kids, to go to sleep, don't give this to them in the middle of the day or whenever you want them to stay awake, because this is drowsy, heavily drowsy. And then the final thing, and you need to have this inside of your cupboard at all time, this is Panadol. This is paracetamol. It's like Tylenol or ibuprofen for fever, aches, and pains. Now, there are a few medications that I don't have with me that I do want to mention. So the first one is Citel. Citel is like Tylenol, and it's for fever and aches and pains, and it's a low impact medicine, meaning it's safe for babies. And then above that you have the next one is Catafly, which is a little bit stronger, and it's not recommended usually for very young children. And then another one that is called is Dolphin. This is a suppository for when you absolutely cannot break your child's fever. Okay, and I've only had to give my daughter in her life, I've only had to use Dolphin one time. And then when my son, after his adenoids and tonsils removal, I had to give that to him one time as well. Not all doctors will recommend this though, so definitely talk to your doctor before you get it. In fact, before you take any of these medications, remember, these are just ones that I've been recommended by my doctor. Make sure that you talk to your doctor before you take any of this. I'm just showing you what's in my medicine cabinet and what's been prescribed to me. And none of these medications did I just like randomly choose, obviously. All of these medications have been prescribed to me from a doctor. Like the doctor wrote it down and told me, okay, give them this dosage and all of that. So definitely do not just randomly just order things from the pharmacy. Definitely talk to a doctor. And that just brings me to my last thing with regards to medication, and that's how pharmacies work. Pharmacies are generally you just go in and you hand them the prescription and then they give you things. But like I said, the prescription is not something that's mandatory in order for you to get the prescription. You can call any pharmacy that delivers and give them the name of the medication, and they can deliver it to your house. Medication in general is fairly cheap, so don't worry about the cost of medicine here, because it's not that expensive. So definitely don't worry about it. That's about it. That's everything that I have to talk to you about. Definitely go and check out my other videos on my channel for other things that I've talked about living in Egypt. I hope that this video has been informative for you and helpful for you. Remember that this is, my own experiences, my own things that's going on, and anything with regards to, again, I'm going to state this again, anything in regards to medication, before you take anything, talk to a doctor. I know I just said that again, I said that just a few minutes ago, but I just want to state it again. Before you take anything, go talk to a doctor. I hope that this was really beneficial for you, and I hope that you got something out of this video. Definitely leave a comment below if you have any specific questions about anything else or anything else that I can address with you. And definitely go check out my channel for my other videos and see if there's something there also that might be helpful for you. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.